I was just talking to Ange, and Lee's phone call.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
There you are. Oh, how are we?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Morning.
Morning, Steve. Right, who we got? Where are we? Wednesday already. It's going quick again this week, isn't it?
Mad, isn't it?
Claire, Steve. Hi, Lise.
Morning.
You all right, darling?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Oh, good. Up for the boxing, I'll put you down.
Yes, 100%.
Fabulous. Yeah, I've just done it again this morning. Whew.
Oh,
Hot and sweaty mess. I got up, put a bit of makeup on, and then by the end of that 35-minute session, it was trailing down my face almost. Had to wipe it all off and start again.
I've missed the boxing. I love it so much.
You really can feel it, can't
Oh,
you? Couple of
100%.
sessions, and yeah, you're really starting to feel it. I can feel it in my arms.
Yeah.
When did I do it? Yes,
as well.
Monday and this morning. So yeah, now I can feel it all in my arms and the sides of my body. All good. It's nice to mix it up a bit as well and do something different.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, okay. We've got a couple more we're waiting on. Morning, Angie.
Good morning, Lisa, and other yogis.
You're very jolly this morning, my lovely. That's nice.
I am, aren't I?
Good.
Had a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that always makes the difference, doesn't it? Always makes the difference. Right, let's give it a minute. Judy wants recording anyway. See if anyone else is joining us. And yes, you can, Claire. No problem.
Oh.
I'm going to add you onto the list while I remember. Oh. Right, let's get a little cushion. And we've got Sue now as well. Okay guys, so we will get started. How are we doing this morning? Is everyone okay? Is there anything I need to be aware of with anyone? Anyone got anything going on? Hips, shoulders, necks, sides of your body, Kim? Is that?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me that your core is aching, my darling?
Oh, yeah. Hang on.
Let me think why that could be.
It's all that side stuff we've been doing, you know, as well.
It's all that boxing as well in total body workout yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You're looking very shredded though, my darling. You are.
I'm what?
Looking very shredded.
Oh.
Very lean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all this yoga I'm doing.
Well, yeah, exactly. I wish I could say the same for me. If I could stop drinking alcohol several times a week, it might make a difference. It's all about the balance though, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of what you fancy. Okay, so let's just take a minute to make sure you've got a little cushion or a rolled up blanket to use as a prop if you need to. And we'll just start seated. So just coming into comfortable cross-legged position. You might want a blanket for the end for our little Shavasana because it is a little bit chilly again this morning. I don't know why I'm fluffing up my cushions. Look, it's ridiculous. Just sit down and teach, woman. Okay, so just settling in, taking a moment to come into the space. You can pop yourself on your cushion. If the hips are a little bit tight this morning, this will just give you a little bit of a tilt forwards, and it will just open up those hips a little bit. If you're feeling a little bit open, maybe you want to take a little half lotus, so one foot rests into the top of the thigh. If you're feeling really open, maybe you want to take a full lotus. Maybe we're just in Sukhasana, maybe the legs are extended out in front of you. Lots of maybes this morning. So when you're ready, let's take a nice few big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just taking that little sigh. Not changing the breath at the moment, just being aware of the inhalation as it comes in and the exhalation as it goes out. If you haven't already done so, beginning to close the eyes, coming inside. We're just going to start to build on the breath a little bit. So inhaling now for the count of 3 or maybe 4. Take a little pause, just hold the breath outside of the body for a moment. And then exhale for the count of 5, maybe 6. As you exhale, starting to draw the navel up and back to the spine. Just beginning to empty that belly of any stale air, any negative energy that we've built up throughout the course of the night or this morning. And keeping our exhalations slightly longer than our inhalations, really give us the chance to allow the body to come to its rest and digest mode. We're starting to activate the central nervous system, coming into the parasympathetic nervous system. So it brings us down a little bit, starts to settle the mind and settle the body. Beautiful. And all the postures that we're working on this morning are all grounding yin poses. Just gives us the chance to really soften into it, really release and really let go. So as always, when we move in and out of the postures, doing so slowly, mindfully. And as we start to settle in, scanning through the body, seeing where our areas of tightness and our tension are, what we're holding on to, and sending the breath into those spaces, just to give us that little bit of softness and that little bit of stillness, just to open us up a little bit more. Just taking a couple more rounds of breath. Beautiful. Then just come back to your normal breath for a moment. Inhaling through the nose and out through the nose. Just noticing any sensations that have come into the body, anything that has come up since we first sat. Lovely. Then as we inhale, we'll just gently start to tilt the chin up towards the sky. Nice big breath in as we exhale, tuck the chin into the chest. Lovely. Come back to centre, breathe in. As we exhale, just gently letting the right ear drop to the right shoulder. Come back to centre, left ear to left shoulder. And again, just come back to centre. Tuck the chin into the chest again and just take some little semicircles here. Just turning the head from side to side. Beautiful. And then maybe coming a little bit bigger with those circles. 4 circles now round to the back of the neck if that feels good. Again, we're nice and mindful. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels too strong, soften off a little bit. Go back to those semicircles. Let's just take a few the other way. Still keeping the eyes closed if that feels nice. And just circling nice and slowly. Just taking a few more. Lovely, then we're ready to come into our first asana, Paschimottanasana, our beautiful forward fold. So lengthen the legs out in front of you. And you've got a couple of options. You can use your cushion or your rolled up blanket, place it into the belly and just kind of sort of puff it up a little bit so it's making like a little bit of a bolster. And then we simply just roll down over the cushion. Let the chin rest, maybe the hands are just sort of wrapped around, the elbows wrapped around that blanket or cushion. And we literally just soften, rounding through the spine a little bit. You've always got the option to bend your knees, keep them a little bit soft. We can also slide the cushion underneath the legs, which just takes that little bit of tension out of the back of the legs. And then you can fold down, letting the chest rest onto the thighs. Or if you're feeling particularly open this morning, we don't use the cushion at all. And we just fold down over those legs. So we're using the breath, each inhalation. Feel that breath come through the body. Imagine it coming through the spine, making that spine just a little bit longer. Imagine a little bit of space coming in between each vertebra. We're lengthening the crown of the head a little bit further towards the feet. Now we're coming just into that little spot where we're feeling that gentle little pull, that little tug across the backs of the legs and into the spine. So you may not come down very far. We're just going to sit and breathe into it. Again, visualize the breath coming into those areas of tightness, of tension. Maybe visualizing the breath as a little bit of a colour. Perhaps a nice warming colour, a purple or a deep blue. Coming into those areas that are feeling tight and warming them up if you like, just to get them a little bit softer. So we are going to be here for a few rounds of breath. I'm just going to do a few little readings this morning for you just to enjoy while we're sitting in our postures. Just opening the pages randomly. And they're all from that book by Nikki Bannis called Shine From Within. And this one is called You've Come So Far. One day at a time, little by little, you will get where you are meant to go. Sometimes you don't realise how far you've come until you take a look back and see how much you've grown, how much you've changed already. Remind yourself of where you were a year ago, even a month ago. Remind yourself of how different things are now and the ways you've changed. Look at everything you've learned. Think about the things that you fought so hard to overcome. Remember the times that you thought you'd never be able to do it, and then you did. Remind yourself of the mountains you've conquered. Think of all the amazing things you've done already. You may not feel like you are growing right now, but you are. You are transforming. You are becoming even more you. You are getting ready for something so big and so incredible that's coming. And someday, not too far away, you will look back on right now and smile at how far you've come. So maybe something in that reading resonated with you. Again, just coming back to the breath, using that breath to create a little bit more space. Keep checking in as well, scanning through the body while we're in these postures, seeing where that tightness is, that tension. Maybe we feel we're releasing a little bit now into the backs of the legs. Are we holding tension still around those shoulders? Are we clenching the jaw? Can we release? Can we just tuck that belly up a little bit more? Engaging into our Uddiyana Bandha, our little energy lock. Sometimes just gives us a little bit more space. So we're just staying here for a couple more breaths. Just making the decision now to take it a little bit deeper if that feels good for the last few moments, or easing out of it gently if we feel we've reached that little sweet spot. Lovely. So as we inhale, keep the chin tucked into the chest, just rolling up slowly, rounding through that spine. Let's just come to sit nice and tall. Let's take a breath in. Just softly circling the arms up to the sky. Bring the hands together. Nice exhale as you come back through to that heart space. Lovely. And then we're just going to bring ourselves down onto the floor nice and slowly, nice and mindfully, rolling down through the spine. Place the feet down to the mat and then send the legs long down to the end of the mat. As we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up over the head. So just coming into a nice full body stretch. It's a little bit active. We're lengthening through the fingers and toes. Take a nice big breath in, and then as you exhale, just soften and release. Keep the arms where they are, but just let everything sort of fall down into the mat. We're going to come into a little side stretch, so this will feel nice for the side of your body. We're going to bring the hands, taking hold of that right wrist. Just bring the top of the body over to the right side of the mat. Sorry, taking hold of your left wrist. Now, if this feels enough, if you are quite tight across the side, you can maybe keep it here. Otherwise, we're going to walk the feet over as well to that right side, perhaps hooking the left ankle over that right ankle. So we're making this lovely little banana shape, banana asana. And just, again, trying to soften, releasing the shoulder blades down into the mat, keeping the head in line, or maybe turning the head to look towards that right elbow. Again, when it feels good, close the eyes, taking a little moment to settle in. And we're coming back to that little body scan, that little inner inventory, seeing how we're feeling, seeing where we've got that tightness and that tension. And again, just beginning to send the breath there, perhaps imagining that colour, little visualization. Taking time to check in with the body, seeing how it's feeling. And then beginning to take a little bit of time to check in with the mind, seeing what's going on there this morning. Are we a little bit racy? Have we got lots of thoughts going through the head? 100 miles an hour? Are we thinking of what we need to do when we finish our practice? Have we got a little to-do list? Just trying to Let these thoughts come into the brain. Imagine them being like a little cloud. They're coming in and then just drifting away. Not telling ourselves to stop thinking, that's fruitless. The more we start saying, stop thinking, the more we think. So just watching them, watching these thoughts come up. And then imagining them like that little wisp of clouds, or maybe like a balloon floating across a beautiful blue sky. And when you do feel the mind beginning to wander, just bringing it back to the breath. You could use the breath to set your intention for your class. Set your intention for the day, maybe for this week. You can count the breath. Just giving the mind something to focus on allows us to find that little bit of stillness. Or you could simply repeat in your head, I am breathing in as you inhale. I am breathing out as you exhale. Maybe you have a sankalpa, a mantra that you like to repeat. Perhaps it's something that resonates with you today. I am happy. I am safe. I am strong. Perhaps it's a mantra that you always use, maybe something different. So again, just staying here on this side for a couple more breaths. Can we find that little bit more space, going a little bit deeper? Or do we need to start to ease out of it now for the last few moments? Lovely. Take a nice big breath in. And as we exhale, let's bring the body back into the centre, uncross the legs, let go of that wrist. Start to take that nice big body stretch again. So reaching away through the fingers and the toes. Squeeze the belly in, lift that navel back to spine. Big breath as you exhale. Again, just release. Let the body become heavy. Feeling like those arms are falling deeper into the mat. Feet falling out. Toes coming down towards the mat. And again, nice big in-breath, and we'll bring it through to the other side. So taking hold of that right wrist. Just gently pulling the body over towards that left side of the mat. Bringing that left foot over and across, followed by the right. And maybe again, that little hook over that right ankle. This just works a little bit deeper into that right hip. If it's not comfortable, sit with it for a couple of breaths. And then if you're not creating that space, just unhook the leg and let it rest down to the floor. Remembering that this is your practice. I'm just guiding you into it, and you always need to listen to the body. If something doesn't feel right, ease out of it. Again, come back to the breath. Soften the gaze or close the eyes. We're always looking for our sthira and our sukha. Shouldn't just be in our yoga practice, it should be in our everyday lives. Sthira meaning steadiness, and sukha meaning ease. Going through life with a bit of grace and just looking for it to be a little bit sort of effortless. And that's what we want to be finding as we move in and out of each posture. That little sweet spot where it feels good and we can relax and soften into it. So again, I'm going to do another reading. Opening the page randomly. And this one is called Resilience. You never know when you are minutes away from a breakthrough. You never know when you are one project away from the promotion. You never know when you are 1 hour of studying away from passing the exam. You never know when you are one song away from landing the record deal. And that is why you keep going. That is why you keep trying. That is why when you fall down, you stand back up. You stand back up because you have to give yourself a real chance. It might not happen fast. It might not happen how you thought, but that doesn't mean you should quit. All good things take time, and your time will come again soon. So coming back to the breath on this side. Bringing the awareness back into those areas of tightness, of tension. Noticing the difference on this side. Is this our tighter side? Is this the side that we feel a little bit more open in? When we know what's going on both sides of the body, we can use that to bring a little bit of balance. So again, just staying here for a few more breaths. Taking our asana a little bit deeper now if that feels good. Or easing out of it slightly if we've reached that little sweet point. And as we take that next in-breath, gently bringing the body back to the centre. Let's take that body stretch again, just reaching away through the fingers, through the toes. Pull that belly in, navel draws back to spine, engaging into that Uddiyana Bandha. As we exhale, we're going to bring the arms over the head. Start to hug that right knee into the chest. Let's take a little curl up here. Lifting the head and shoulders up and off the floor. Nose comes in towards the knee. And then as you exhale, release. Place that foot to the floor, just gently sliding it down to the end of the mat. And let's bring that left leg up and in. Again, as you inhale, curl up, nose to knee, hugging that knee in towards the chest. Lovely, let's release. Feet nice and long down to the end of the mat. So we're just going to take the soles of the feet to the floor. We're going to come into a little half happy baby pose. So we're bringing that right knee in towards the chest and just start to bring it over and across. So the right knee comes towards that right shoulder. Left foot is pressing onto the floor just for a little bit of support, and we can take that left arm out in line with the shoulder just to anchor us down a little bit towards the mat. Now if you're tight in the hips, you might want to stay here for a few rounds of breath. You maybe want to wrap that arm around the back of that thigh. So we're just keeping the knee a little bit bent. If you want to come into the full posture, we start to bring the sole of the foot up to the floor. And then we're going to reach up, taking hold of the sole of the foot. Hand or the arm can come inside of that leg or maybe around the outside if that feels more comfortable. And we're pushing that knee down as if we're trying to get it to touch the floor. Now again, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, slide your left leg long down to the end of the mat, and that will give you a bit of a deeper stretch into that right hip. Left hand can come to the left hip just for a little bit of support to anchor us down. So it's a bit of a passive stretch. We've got to work a little bit, pushing into that foot to create the stretch, but we're trying to find that stillness again and that softness. So try and loosen around that elbow and around the shoulder. Using the breath, send it where it needs to go. Breathe into it. Find that space. Again, perhaps imagining the breath as a colour, going where it needs to go. It might feel tight to start with, but we use the breath to open up that space. Just breathing. Again, using the breath to control the mind if it feels like it's got too many thoughts running through the head. Perhaps coming back to that little breath count, or maybe that mantra. I'm breathing in as you inhale. I'm breathing out as you exhale. And remembering that we're only coming into these postures for as long as we feel we can hold them. If you need to modify it, again, ease out of it. Maybe we've started in this full happy baby pose, and then we're going back to bringing the arm around the back of the leg, softening it off a little bit. We leave our ego behind. We're not thinking, I must do this pose in this way. We can adapt. Some days we can come into a posture sitting in it quite comfortably. Other days it's not quite the same, and sometimes it changes hour by hour. But that's okay. We learn to work with what we've got available at that current present moment. So again, just staying here on this side for a few more rounds of breath, coming a little bit deeper into it if that feels good, or starting to ease out of it for the last few moments, maybe even placing the foot back down to the floor and just resting in that semi-supine position for a couple of breaths. Lovely. Let's start to soften into that knee, and again, just give it a little hug back into the chest. Let's curl up, squeezing the belly, nose comes towards the knee, that little Ardha Appanasana. And release the head and shoulders down, placing that foot back to the floor. Bring the left foot up to join it if it wasn't already there, and take a little reset. Press back down, lengthen back down through the spine. We're going to bring it through to the other side. So left knee starts to come up and into the chest. And again, just soften into it. Let the shoulders begin to release. And we start to bring that knee over towards that left shoulder. Now, you may be tighter on this side. You might already notice the difference. Perhaps the arm wraps around the back of the leg and we soften into it and keep it here. Maybe we start to flex that foot, keeping the knee bent, and that foot comes up towards the spine, and we reach up to take hold of the sole of the foot. Your right arm can be out in line with the shoulder, or maybe it's resting onto that right hip. Again, we can stay here, or we slide that right leg away, just creating that little bit more of a deeper stretch across that left hip. Settling in, softening down. Again, breathing into it. Enjoying this little bit of time just for yourself. Softening the shoulders, allowing the body to be nice and heavy as it rests down into the mat. So again, just opening my book randomly, and this reading is called Now. When you find your mind drifting into worries about tomorrow, worries about that big day coming up, return to the beautiful moment of now, where everything is exactly as it should be. I know it's incredibly hard sometimes, and I know you can't help but let your mind think about later. But don't let those thoughts keep you from enjoying the beautiful moment you are in right now. Know that later will come when it's time, but right now you are here, and here is wonderful too. Well, that one seems very appropriate for our yin practice. So again, if your mind has been drifting, bring it back. Bring it back to now, to this present moment. Knowing that whatever it is you need to do will be waiting for you. You can catch up with it. This is just your time. Taking a little bit of time out to heal the body and to heal the mind, to slow down. I think even in lockdown, many of us find our to-do list is still quite long, still quite demanding. Maybe we're feeling a little bit overwhelmed of what we've got coming up, starting to move out again into the real world. Whatever it is, just acknowledge it, breathe into it, sit with it, and know that you'll deal with it step by step. You need to. So again, just here on this side for a few more moments. And taking a nice big deep breath in, starting to just draw that leg back, hugging that knee into the chest. Just releasing. And then placing the sole of the foot to the floor. Give it that little slide away down to the end of the mat. Bring the toes together. Let's come back into that nice full body stretch. Again, just reaching away through the fingers and the toes. And then releasing, bringing the arms back over the head. Soles of the feet again coming back to the floor. Begin to press back down through that spine. Going to bring the soles of the feet together, softening into our Supta Baddha Konasana, our beautiful little reclining butterfly. Now again, if you're quite tight, just let the hands rest underneath the glutes onto your bum, and just that gives us a little bit of support, supporting into those hips slightly. You can always pop a couple of cushions, one underneath each knee. You might want to come a little bit deeper into it here, so we bring the hands to the inner thighs and we just give a soft little push down. Again, there's a few little options. If you're particularly tight, slide the legs a little bit further down to the end of the mat. If you want to work a little bit into the hips and the lower back, you can just bring the arms up and over the head, maybe grabbing hold of the wrists or the elbows or the forearms, and that will just give us a little lift in that lower back. Takes it up and off the mat, so we're just getting that little bit of a stretch out there, also opening up across the chest. Maybe you want to move around a little bit and just explore the space you've got and see what works for you. So again, taking that little inventory through the body, scanning it through to see how it's feeling. Noticing that tightness, that tension. Noticing what we're holding onto. And this may not always be a physical sensation. Sometimes it's an emotional sensation. We could have a thought or a little feeling that's been bugging us for a couple of days. Maybe even just for the last 40 minutes or so of your practice. Perhaps this is something we can spend a little bit of time on working to release. Letting go. Softening into it, finding that stillness and giving the body and the mind a chance to surrender. And these are not always big, dramatic feelings. Sometimes it can be something that feels quite small and quite trivial. Again, just recognizing what it is. Maybe watching how it changes as we move in and out of our practice. Maybe working on releasing and letting go. This next reading is called Limitless. The only way to know your limits is to test them. And the only way to test your limits is by pushing yourself as close as you possibly can to what you think you are capable of. More often than not, you'll find that your limits were never real. You'll find that you can soar right past them, and that you can run further, connect deeper, and learn more than you ever thought possible. You might even find yourself wondering why you had those false limits in the first place. So chase your limits. Don't be afraid to see how close you can get. Learn what you are really capable of, because once you do, your world just might become limitless. I like that one. That reminds me that sometimes we talk ourselves out of things that we might want to do. We might get a little idea and then we might think, oh, we can't do that. Maybe it is just that thought that you had before you first tried online yoga. And then once you got over your fear, realise that, yeah, actually I can do this. It's often that fear that stops us from going for what we want to do. And we'll just be here for the last few rounds of breath. Maybe easing out of it slightly now, maybe taking it a little bit deeper for the last few moments. Lovely. As we inhale, starting to just draw the knees back together. And again, press through that lower spine, drawing one knee into the chest and then bringing the other one in to join it. Let's inhale and curl up, nose towards the knees, squeezing that body into that tight little ball, coming into the Apanasana. And maybe a little rock here from side to side now. Maybe just a little bit of movement, opening up that spine a little bit. Lovely. Then we're going to press the feet back down to the floor, taking the arms nice and wide, coming into our beautiful belly twist, Jatha Paravatanasana. So drawing the knees over to the right, head's going to turn to the left if that feels okay. And again, soft gaze to the tip of the nose or close the eyes, trying to press down equally through both shoulders. Knees can be stacked one on top of the other. Maybe you want to draw that left knee up a little bit higher towards that right shoulder. And perhaps we're bringing the right hand onto it just to give it that little bit of a push down. Maybe you want to take a bit of space between the legs. So zigzagging those legs and those knees and taking it there. Again, taking a moment to find your little spot. Find what feels good. And then when you get there, taking that little scan, scanning through the body again, seeing how it's feeling. Becoming aware of those areas of tightness, tension. Maybe sending the breath there to create that little bit of space. Noticing if your breath again is a colour. Is it the same colour? When I use this little visualisation, mine always tends to be purple, which I think is a little bit of a warming colour. Perhaps yours is yellow, the colour of bright sunshine. Taking a moment again to settle in, come back to the breath. Perhaps you're listening to the inhalation as it comes in through the nose. Maybe you're listening to the exhalation as it comes out through the nose. Perhaps you're listening to the sounds around you. Maybe it's just the sound of my voice. Maybe it's the sounds from within your house. Not having to do anything to create these sounds. Just simply staying present by listening to them. Feeling the body becoming a little bit heavier as we release and let go. The breath coming a little bit longer as we soften and surrender. Using the breath to keep that stillness in the mind and in the body. And again, just staying here on this side for a few more rounds of breath. Coming a little bit deeper into it for the last few moments. Breathing out of it a little bit. If you feel you've found that little sweet spot. And as we take that nice big breath in, bring yourself back to the centre. Flexing back down through the spine. Let's draw both knees again up and into the chest. Very gently lifting the head and shoulders up and off the floor. Take that little curl up and in. Maybe that little rock from side to side again. And then we're going to release. Feet come back to the floor. Opening those arms nice and wide. Let's find that little belly twist on the other side. So again, turn the head, drop the shoulders. Just moving and seeing where we want to go on this side. Maybe the knees are going to be a little bit apart. Maybe they're stacking one on top of the other. Checking out if this is our tighter side or our more open side. Noticing the difference, finding that balance. And again, if this is the side that you're feeling a little bit tighter on, just sitting with it, breathing into it. Noticing how we can use that breath and that stillness just to open up a little bit more, create that little bit more space. Beginning to release again and let go. Not just of the body, but also of the mind. Allowing that body to become nice and heavy. And again, I'm going to read a little passage called Human. Sometimes we forget that we are only human. We go through ups and downs, twists and turns. Life is unpredictable, fragile and constantly changing. There are bound to be unexpected surprises and bumps along the way. So let your river of emotion flow and allow yourself to feel its depth. Be kind to yourself as you go about your day. Stay proud of yourself even when you make mistakes, because you are trying, you are growing. Keep your head held high even when you want to tuck it under the covers. Nobody said this journey would be free of bumps and bruises. Nobody said it would all be smooth sailing. Beautiful friend, you are human. Allow yourself to be. Staying here for the last few moments. Again, coming a little bit deeper into it, if you feel you've still got the space to do so, or easing out of it slightly if you feel you've found that sweet spot. And on that next big in-breath, drawing the knees back into the centre. Just take a little reset back through the spine. Let's hug both knees again, up and into the chest, curling up into that little ball. Maybe that little rock from side to side again. And then placing the feet down to the floor. Slide the legs down towards the end of the mat if that feels good. Or keep yourself in that little semi-supine position. I'm going to bring the hands onto the belly, and let's just take our little yoni mudra. So the thumb, first two fingers, just touch, and we're just letting them rest onto the lower belly, round about where that womb space is. Connecting into Shakti, our feminine energy. And just taking some nice big deep breaths, feeling the rise of the belly as we inhale. Full of the belly as we exhale. Making ourselves feel comfortable and just allowing the body to be still. Allowing the muscles to soften and lengthen. Noticing any sensations that arise anywhere in the body. And just acknowledge these sensations. Ask them what they need and pay attention. Avoid any judgment. Just stay aware and sensitive to the messages that the body is sending. Bring the focus of your awareness to your breathing. Notice the depth and pace of your breathing. Allow your breath to become slower, softer, and deeper. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Allow the abdominal area to rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. Inhale and feel the breath travelling down to the abdomen. Exhale and feel the breath flowing upwards and out of the body. Stay connected to the sensations and the feelings in your body. Give permission for the body to relax and let go. Breathe in love. Breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out disease. Stay focused on the breath. Allow the breath to become slower and deeper. Breathe in love. Breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out disease. Release all self-judgment and criticism. Focus on breathing in joy and love. Focus on allowing the body to heal. Allow the thoughts to assist healing. Release and let go of any blocks to well-being. Ask yourself, what do I need to release? Allow yourself to sigh, to let go. Focus on slower, deeper breathing. Release all self-judgment and criticism. Breathe in love. Breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out disease. Allow your body to be still and silent. Allow your body to share what it needs to heal. With every breath, allow the body to relax further. Allow a feeling of relaxation, calm to spread through your whole being. Be here and now. Allow the body and mind to flow together, creating a sense of peace and well-being. back into the breath, back into the body. Beginning to bring some movement to the fingers and the toes. And that next big in-breath, reaching the arms up and over the head. And then when you're ready, hugging the knees into the chest. And then just beginning to bring your way back into Sukhasana, that little seated position. Lovely. Let's bring the hands together to heart space. Just softening the head, closing the eyes, taking a little moment just to pause and reflect. Today I am letting go of all of the should have beens, and I am embracing everything that there is. Today I am letting go of how I thought it would be, and I am embracing how it is. Today I am grateful for how it is, even if I wished it would be different, even if I never thought I would be here. Today I am embracing all that is right in front of me with love, gratitude, acceptance and joy, because there really is so much in front of me. There really is so much to love, and today I am choosing to love it all. Om Shanti. Namaste. There we go, lovelies. That's a nice little start to Wednesday, isn't it? A little wind down Wednesday.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, Lisa.
Good, good. So, guys, meditation tonight is a recording. So if you do want it, just send me a little message and I'll send it out to you. And then hopefully, as of Sunday, you will be able to access them on the booking site. They will be £7. They will be £3, but they will last you for 7 days. So you can go back to it as many times as you want. Now, the way it works is if you book it on Sunday, you get it right up until the following Sunday. If you book it on a Wednesday, it will expire on that Sunday. That's the only way we can do it on the booking site. But hopefully I'll be able to get it sorted out by the end of the week, and I'll send you a little newsletter just to let you know all about it. Don't forget, we've got our bar class starting on the 24th. I've still got 2 spaces, I think, left for the trial group on the 10th of March. That will be at 6:30. So if you want to join me for that, please let me know. And we've got our retreat day coming up, 21st of March, marking a whole year of teaching via Zoom during lockdown. So that would be lovely. That would be 3 hours. It's going to be a little bit of all of the classes. You do get the opportunity, if you don't want to do total body workout, core, Pilates, just to join us for the last 90 minutes, which will be soft and slow. You'll also get a little goodie box coming to you for you to enjoy. So again, that will be sent out to you by the end of this week in the newsletter. Details of how to book, what the times are, price and whatnot. But it is the 21st of March. I'll just put a little reminder on our page today just to save the post, save the date. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow now. I've got a night off tonight. I won't know what to do with myself. Might sit and drink wine.
Enjoy,
Have a
Lisa.
rest. I will do, my
enjoy.
lovelies. And yeah, see you tomorrow, if not later on in the week. Take care,
Bye.
darlings.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.